Ladies and gentlemen, in the 21st night of education exchange of the 21st year of this program, I would like to welcome Helen Lemme Elementary School. The school that, as a matter of fact, was the first school to see me as an art educator.
Wonderful.
And I have a lot of memories about your school. Until after years and years, one of my very close friends designed your beautiful statue outside.
Mm-hmm.
And John Cohen, we just talked last night he's in Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
and he is preparing to design the entrance of the art school, the new building of the art school. So this school has a legacy in Iowa City, because it was one of the first schools that really began the idea of diversity before it became an official motto, let us say. Under John Bacon, the school opened its doors to all diverse population from all over, and that was his main focus during that time. And now Helen Lemme is at good hands with Eliza Proctor on my right-hand side, and I have a wonderful group of, small group, right? Well, this is the father of this program. You met Mr. John Karhoff, who is behind the glass window there in the control room, and his partner in the effort 21 years ago was Mike Peterson, who is our floor director on the main camera here. They were talking to me about how successful program should be.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you have to cap the guests there, like 5, 6, that's okay. And then John Karhoff mentioned one time they had 10 people. So I decided to make a nice surprise for him. So today we break the record. And of course I'm going to have my punishment after that, being the producer of this program. Eliza, we are very proud of your school and of those parents who are among the audience that we would have loved to have them under the limelight of the camera here. Some of them I know very, very well, remarkable people and leaders in the community. And now those are the future that you are going to introduce. This wonderful program that you started in your school to emphasize the idea of diversity.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Well, great. Well, these 6th grade girls, we had a group of 13 girls from Mrs. Hall's 6th grade class, and a group of girls from Mrs. Rubel's 6th grade class that will be doing a presentation at the Iowa City Public Library. They have been spending the last few weeks learning a lot about Helen Lemme's life. We knew a lot about her as one of the first African American women in Iowa City that helped find housing for people that came to Iowa City that could not find it elsewhere. But we did not know much about her life as a scientist. And so the girls were very interested in learning more about her. And so they have taken it upon themselves to do some research with a bunch of different partners in Iowa City. And they will go through and talk about them, and they're putting together a historical website about Helen Lemme's life.
Before you introduce your warriors here, those wonderful leaders of the school, I would like you to tell us something about yourself. You have been our client here many times before as a teacher.
Yeah.
Last time you were at Horn Elementary, Ernest Horn Elementary, before you took the helm of the wonderful Lemme School.
Yeah.
So tell us about the difference between a school teacher and a principal.
Okay. Well, before I began my career teaching kindergarten, I taught kindergarten for 8 years at Horn Elementary before I began my career in administration. And as a teacher, loved having that first impact on kindergarten students and making sure that school was a positive place for them to be and that they had a great foundation before they moved on into upper elementary. And as I had done that for a few years, I felt that my impact was just on that 20 to 25 kids, and I wanted to make a larger impact on more students. And so that's when I started pursuing administration, and I come from a family of educators. My husband is a teacher at Horn Elementary, and I've had some great role models in my life, and so I wanted to kind of pursue life outside of the classroom and making a building grow.
The chance to congratulate your husband too for being recognized as one of the best teachers in the district.
Yes, I'm very lucky to
Thank you.
be married to him.
So, your kids.
Wonderful. Well, we have April and Olivia, Kay, Erica, Lily, Corinne. In the front we have Mackenzie, Riley, Alexa, Grace, Trinity, and Madeline. And they have, along with their teacher, prepared a script, and they have some artifacts on Helen Lemme's life that we have gotten from some of Mrs. Lemme's family members and some things from the community that they'll share with you.
We are researching Helen Lemme's life and creating a website that contains information about her life. This came about after Dr. Richard D. Gowan donated photographs and a brass scale that was used in the University of Iowa Medical Hospital Blood Research Lab operated by his father, Dr. Elmer D. Gowan. Helen Lemme worked as a lab assistant in this lab during the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. This aspect of her life we knew very little about and wanted to conduct further research. All the 6th grade girls at Lemme Elementary participated in this research.
We decided to interview Dr. Richard DeGowan about his father's blood research lab at the University of Iowa Medical Hospital. He told us how his father hired Helen Lemme to be a research assistant in his lab once he found out that she had a college degree from the University of Iowa. She was the first African American woman to be hired in his medical lab. We found out that Dr. Elmer DeGowan and his lab were pioneers in researching ways to preserve, type, transfuse, and transport blood. Their research in the 1920s to 1940s helped preserve blood for soldiers that saved lives during World War II. They were one of the 2 labs in the country that preserved blood prior to the D-Day invasion.
Dr. Richard DeGowan donated photographs, letters, and articles about the lab and Helen Lemme's role in it to Lemme Elementary. We scanned these documents and included them on the website.
Helen Lemme's family donated many photographs, newspaper articles, Helen Lemme's college certificate to Lemme Elementary School. Our school historian, Lemme's school secretary, Miss Cindy Slutz, has preserved these primary documents over the years. She gave us permission to examine these documents.
You are great readers, but I would like you to be a little bit louder. Yeah, thank you.
Our librarian Cheryl Vitosh taught us how to use the scanner so we could include the Lemme family's documents on our website. We scanned about 30 documents to be included on the website. We also took photographs of Helen Lemme's gravesite and located where her house originally stood.
We visited the University of Iowa Digital Studios for Public Arts and Humanities and met the University of Iowa graduate students Ethan DeGrosse and Nikki White, who taught us how to use the Omeka program to create a historical website for our Helen Lemme research project. They taught us how to document the sources and copyright requirements for our artifacts we included in our website.
And this is a portrait of Dr. Lemme behind you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's at the front of our building.
Right.
Thanks to Ethan and Nikki, we learned how to create exhibits that include text, photographs, and newspaper articles and letters on the Helen Lemme website. We are working on the website at this time and we'll share it with the public when it is complete.
We contacted the University of Iowa Women's Archives to see if they had any artifacts about Helen Lemme. U of I Women's Archives librarians Karen Mason and Janet Weaver assisted us with examining the Helen Lemme artifacts that documented her activities as a civil rights advocate for African American students at the University of Iowa.
They gave us access to the Helen Lemme Book Club file that was a support group for African American students at the University of Iowa.
We contacted the University of Iowa Special Collections Department so that we could examine artifacts about Dr. Elmer DeGowan's blood research work at the University of Iowa Hospital Medical School. We wanted to learn more about the research work that the lab conducted and the research Helen Lemme existed with.
University of Iowa Special Collections archivist David McCartney and Lindsay Moorcock located documents about Dr. Elmer DeGowan's lab for us to examine. We read about the lab's research breakthroughs in blood preservation, transfusion, typing prior to World War II. We found out that this research helped save soldiers' lives in World War II, made many surgeries possible that weren't possible before, like open heart, and helped make breakthroughs in leukemia research.
We were allowed to examine the artifacts with gloves, take notes, and scan newspapers, articles, letters, photographs for our Helen Lemme website. These records helped us understand the important research that Dr. Elmer DeGowan lab conducted and Helen Lemme's role in his research.
We contacted the Iowa City Public Library so we could examine newspaper articles about Helen Lemme's life. Iowa City Public Reference Librarian Maeve Clark showed us how to locate articles in the Iowa City Press Citizen Archives, the Cedar Rapids Gazette Archives, and the Daily Iowan Archive by using the online databases.
Reference librarian Maeve Clark helped us locate many newspaper articles that we did not have for our collection. She helped us discover the artist that painted a portrait of Helen Lemme and where the painting is on display at the university. We learned how to use the microfilm reader to obtain and print the articles we needed. This helped us discover and confirm many facts about her civil rights work and political activism. Reference librarian Maeve Clark asked if we would be interested in sharing our research with the public during their May celebration of Iowa history at the library. On May 26th, the other 6th grade girls in Mrs. Rubel's class will be presenting this research and the completed website with the public at 7 p.m. We appreciate getting to share our research with you at this time.
It's so impressive. It's so impressive. This was not only a lesson that involved research efforts from a historic perspective, but it involved writing and communication and contacting people, gathering information, and that's an amazing project.
Yes, their 6th grade teacher will take 0 credit for it, but Mrs. Lisa Hall has done a lot of work to help these girls start this project and get them to the different places and make contact. So without her, we wouldn't have been able to do this project. So they're very lucky to have her.
Now, this wonderful bouquet of leaders are going to be ready to leave to secondary education, from elementary education to secondary education soon.
Yes, in a few short months they'll be
In
headed
a
off
few
to Southeast.
weeks. You're going to miss them.
We will miss them terribly. They've been a great group of girls. They've helped me kind of figure out Lemme, and some of them have given us some great ideas on what we can do with student council to change some things or make things better. And they've been a great group of students to work with.
But in the meantime, you should be very proud that you have prepared and paved their way to leadership.
Yeah,
Right? They are going to be leaders definitely in the new school.
I think so. I think we'll have 12 wonderful leaders.
And after they graduate and finish, we'll probably ask them for autographs. And that is really so impressive. Great effort. I would like to, as a matter of fact, leave the formal setting now and let you talk about what really did you learn from this experience. The most important thing that you picked up when you were doing all that. And just jump in if you would like to answer this question. I'm not selecting any person in particular. Anybody thinks that they learned something beyond just
I think
research?
she was really brave that she did what she wanted and that she'd never stop going for what she really badly wanted.
And especially when you understand the background of the society at the time and what kind of environment we lived in, where people were still suffering from discrimination, prejudice, and so forth. And she stood up as a woman that's ready to help the needy and support the people who are actually having prospects if they just get a chance. And she opened her house to help these people, give them residence and give them place to study, cooked for them. She did a lot. Together with another leader, if anybody knows another woman who played a similar role in the Iowa City community, similar to Helen Lemme. Just to remind you, Elizabeth Tate was another one who really followed the same footsteps of Helen Lemme, so she was a role model. And when Elizabeth Tate, who was working in the university hospital in the cardiology department, and I knew her personally. At the time I was new to Iowa City, that was many decades ago. Elizabeth Tate looked at what Helen Lemme made, and she did the same. At the time she opened her house to host all the African American kids that were not having a chance to live in the dormitories or in the university housing. So that is, you did a wonderful job. So are you having other questions for them? We have still a couple of minutes.
Did any of you have any other things you wanted to share about what you've learned through this project?
Well, what I've learned is not just from the Helen Lemme project, but over what we've been reading and throughout the year, is that there are so many not so good things that have happened, but there has always been somebody that's like stood up and made them go away, and Helen Lemme was just one of the people. And there were many other, like Martin Luther King and other people that tried to say that this was wrong, and eventually it just stopped.
Because people had to stand up for what they believed in, just like Erica was saying, and that she didn't stop. She was brave and kept believing that. So tell them a little bit about what's left for your project.
Well, we still need to go. We're gonna go get her grave robbing.
Oh.
I think it's out in Cedar Rapids, at Mrs. Hall said. And so we can have that. I think we're going to take pictures of her house if we haven't already done that.
Anybody tried some artwork there, like make a portrait of her, try to document her life in visual art forms like drawings or something? Riley, I know that you're a good artist. Huh?
I tried. You made one drawing that was pretty good.
One drawing.
You did one drawing?
Yes.
Did you, you brought, did you bring it with you?
No. It's
So
still at school.
you promised to bring it sometime so we can shed the light on the activity? Well, what did you learn, Riley? I knew you when you were a little baby. That was my last time I saw you. Now you are a young lady and approaching secondary school. Tell me, I want to hear from you.
Well, I agree with Erica and Olivia that she kept going for what she wanted to do, and she wanted to make a change in that. And she also had, like, not very many people know this, but she actually started working at a blood bank, and so not only did she fight for what she thought was right, she
The donation, the idea of giving,
helped.
right?
Yeah, she started to help she saved people's lives because of her research.
Of course, it's remarkable if you are suffering from denial all the time and denying, and you started giving. That's an exemplary behavior. How about you, Madeline? I knew you when you were little too. So talk so that I can hear you when you are big like that.
Well, I think along with Olivia and Erica and Riley that she was stubborn with what she believed. She wasn't going to let anyone say that they can't live on campus because they're skin color. She opened her home to people she probably didn't know, complete strangers, just so that they could go to the university and get an education, get a job, get a nice home. So she tried her best to help the young people of Iowa City.
Olivia, do you think you can, in the future, contact some of the people who went to this home and lived there? Maybe interview them about...
I think there might be some people that we could probably figure out. We tried to get in contact with her son, and we might be able to get some names from there, but there were also other adults that stayed in her house. There were musicians
Can you
that
tell us
stayed
some
there.
of the names of the musicians that you guys have learned to have been there?
I probably couldn't tell you, but Ms. Hall could tell you. And I don't think she wants to come out here right now. But there were a lot of famous musicians that came to her house and stayed, and they did concerts for her because they would let her stay there. So it wasn't just people that were going to the University of Iowa. She let all black people stay there because she knew that nobody else would let them stay because of the color of their skin, and she knew that that wasn't okay. So she opened her home to many people.
Okay, we have about 4 or 5 minutes to conclude this very special edition of Education Exchange. But before we say goodbye, I would like to hear from you. How do you see yourself, let's say, 20 years from now? Who's going to be what? Let me hear.
Me.
I want to see if you really think about the future. Or you just say, well, I'm a little kid, it's too early to think, I didn't have chance to know everything, and I'm still exploring. Do you have a aim, a goal in your life?
I'm not really one to think about the future or plan ahead. I'm just kind of, all right, that's going to happen, okay. I mean, about maybe how I might go in life, I have no idea.
Okay, so let us just see people who really have a dream of attaining or gaining, and let us see who. Anybody has?
Well, what I want to be in 20 years is I want to help other people that don't have a better life. I want to be a social service person that can help other families.
That's very encouraging. And other people?
I want to be a lawyer.
Lawyer, you see.
I want to be a lawyer for a little while, and I've always wanted to be a teacher or a lawyer, so I haven't exactly figured out that
So you
yet.
probably go to the lawyer, like human rights lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Or a teacher. You really want to be a teacher?
I want to be a 3rd through 6th grade teacher because I
How
don't want to be a little
fabulous.
kid
How
teacher. I don't
fabulous.
think I could handle that.
That's very special, very special. Anything else? Anybody has a dream?
I want to write a book.
You want to write books?
Yeah.
I want to be a teacher and a musician.
Teacher and musician? And why do you want to be a teacher, Riley?
It just seems like a nice thing to do, and you're kind of preparing people to go into the world and do things.
Any more ideas?
I guess if I do have a dream, I guess I do want to be one of those people that does stand-up comedy and stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, that by itself is very important, you know. I don't know. I mean, I hear some medical people, and I have a medical background, they say laughing can extend your life, can add years to your life. So that's by itself is very good, you know. Do you know that people, like from where I came from, people are poor, and they are devastated because of poverty and ignorance and disease and all. But they joke all the time. They laugh all the time. And you go there, you expect these people to die when they are 40, but they live until they are 90. And you wonder why, because everything is a joke. They joke about their disaster, they joke about their... So stand-up comedy is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing too. Any ideas more than that?
I kind of want to be a doctor.
Okay.
My brother had cancer, so I was in the hospital a lot, so I know like what kids feel like when they have like families going through like hard times. So I want to be a doctor.
And you will be, if you just put this dream in front of you and keep convincing yourself that you are going to attain it, you will succeed. Guys, I can tell you how much I'm impressed. This is wonderful. This is just so impressive. I am speechless. I don't know how to wrap up this show, except maybe keep you more. Go for another show. How is that?
People could do stand-up comedy like Jimmy Fallon. Yes,
Eliza, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having us.
And thank you, all of you. I would like to mention the names, but probably if I mention the names, will take about 10 minutes. And your parents, who are wonderful people here, and they came. Some of them are with us in the studio. I see Mr. Hills, I see Dr. Rachel Williams, I see a lot of people that I knew over the years, and that's really impressive. Thank you very much, and come back again.
We will. Thank you for having us.
So we are going to say goodbye to our audience and viewers. Thanks to John Karoff, our chief executive producer, to Mike Peterson, our big director, and today cameraman, to Mark, who is with us for the second time this year, and wish you success and bliss and delight and a very bright future. Thank you very much, our audience. You can watch us on Channel 18, Channel 21, all the time. And of course on YouTube and Public Access TV website. The Public Access TV people are the most helpful. And talk to the community, because we need all the support for this service that is not sure going to continue without the word of mouth. Talk to people about supporting Public Access TV. Thank you very much indeed.